We, the members of the Polk County Sheriff's Office, are committed to excellence in providing law enforcement, detention, and public safety services. In partnership with our community, we will serve with integrity, compassion, accountability, and professionalism.
March 6, 2024. Bartow man arrested by the Polk County Sheriff's Office for the death of his 4-month-old baby girl. A joint death investigation between the Polk County Sheriff's Office and Bartow Police Department that began on Thursday, February 22, 2024, resulted in the arrest of 22-year-old Jacob Kubai for causing the death of his infant daughter, Willow. Kubai was arrested on March 5, 2024 and charged at the PCSO's Sheriff's Processing Center with aggravated manslaughter of a child, F1, aggravated child abuse, F1, and knowingly abusing a child without bodily harm, F3, 2 counts. Bartow detectives started the investigation after 4-month-old Willow Kubai was brought into Bartow Regional Medical Center with no brain activity and suspicious physical injuries. Willow was transported by helicopter to St. Joseph's Hospital in Tampa, and it was then determined that she had a fractured skull, multiple layers of hemorrhaging to the brain, bruises, scratches, and broken ribs. Death investigations can often take many months before they are complete. In this case, the injuries to this beautiful baby girl were so severe that it left no doubt how she was killed. I don't know how a father could do this to his child, but I do know he should be locked up for as long as the law allows. Grady Judd, Sheriff. A PCSO detective conducted separate interviews with Jacob and his wife Rebecca, and neither was able to explain how Willow got her injuries. During the investigation, Jacob recounted his day with Willow prior to her arriving at the hospital. He told the detective that she was fine when the two of them were at a local store between 6:40 p.m. and 7:50 p.m. After returning home, Jacob said he fed the baby and then went to check on her at around 8:10 p.m. and discovered she was not breathing. Security video from the store that was obtained by PCSO detectives showed Jacob at a self-checkout register at 6:54 p.m. But the victim was not seen in the video. When confronted with the inconsistency, Jacob refused to provide any additional information. A February 27 autopsy performed on the victim by the District 10 Medical Examiner's Office revealed multiple blunt force trauma injuries to the front of the baby's head, a swollen and hemorrhaged spine, and an acute skull fracture on the back of the head. There were also 10 rib fractures that were in the healing stage. In the arrest affidavit, the autopsy conclusion states, based on the injuries noted, the skull fracture would have been caused by the caregiver at that time. The cause of death was determined to be blunt force trauma of the head. The manner of death was ruled as a homicide. The injuries occurred while Rebecca was at work, while Jacob was the sole caregiver of the victim, for 3 hours prior to being taken to the hospital. It was also learned that on at least 2 occasions, January 17 and February 22, Jacob left the baby alone with no caregiver. Bartow Police Department is thankful for our partnership with the Polk County Sheriff's Office Homicide Investigations Unit. In this investigation, Chief Andy Ray, Bartow PD. May 8, 2024. Davenport woman charged with murder in the death of her 4-year-old son. Polk County Sheriff's Office homicide detectives have arrested and charged 36-year-old Patricia St. Isaiah of Davenport with first-degree murder, aggravated child abuse, and tampering with a witness. in the death of her 4-year-old son whom she adopted from Haiti. The child was brought to the U.S. and adopted by Patricia in April 2023. A timeline of events is as follows. On Thursday, May 2, 2024, PCSO was notified by staff at Orlando Health Hospital that a 4-year-old child had died under what appeared to be suspicious circumstances. The child's body had been taken to the District 9 Medical Examiner's office for an autopsy. The medical exam at the hospital revealed an abdominal bleed that emergency surgery could not rectify. On Friday, May 3, 2024, the autopsy was conducted. The autopsy showed the following. The victim had scarring on his back, with old scarring present, as well as fresh scars that would have occurred while the victim was living in the United States. From April 2023 to May 2024, the victim's liver had a deep laceration on it that was caused by a targeted blunt force trauma injury. The liver laceration would have caused a rapid decline in the victim's health. The liver injury would have had effects immediately. The victim had no broken or fractured bones, but he had bruising/hemorrhage to his arms and legs. These injuries are consistent with ongoing abuse. The child's cause of death was ruled assault/blunt force trauma, and the manner of death was ruled a homicide. Homicide detectives learned that the child was first brought to Heart of Florida Hospital in Davenport by Patricia, but due to his significant injuries he was flown to Orlando Health. Patricia repeatedly denied to detectives that she ever used physical discipline as punishment. Her husband told detectives that he does not discipline the children, but that she does. During initial interviews with the child's older teenaged brother, he denied being abused or witnessing abuse. However, after placing that child into DCF custody, he then told detectives that Patricia told him, "When they ask you something, say nothing so I don't get in trouble," and that she threatened to kill him with a gun. He then told detectives the following. During their time together living in Haiti, the boys would be physically disciplined by receiving multiple strikes with a belt and a homemade hitting device. When the victim came home from school on Wednesday, May 1, he was happy and behaving normally, with no injuries. This was confirmed upon a review of school cameras, bus cameras, and interviews with those who interacted with him that day. When the victim got home from school, the older brother went to another room for approximately 2 hours, and did not see or hear what happened to the victim. Patricia then told the brother to bring food to the victim. At that time, he noted that the victim was unable to walk on his own, and struggled to sit up on his own. Patricia told the older brother that the victim was faking it and to feed him. The victim then became unresponsive. The older brother began performing CPR on the child and then told Patricia they needed to take him to the hospital. During a forensic review of Patricia's phone, detectives found 2 videos from home surveillance cameras that show Patricia actively hitting the child with an unknown object, while the child is laying on a floor, unresponsive. Another video clip shows Patricia throwing the child into a pool while both of his hands are tied behind his back.
Equality before the law, also known as equality under the law. Equality in the eyes of the law, legal equality, or legal egalitarianism, is the principle that all people must be equally protected by the law. The rule of law is a political ideal that all citizens and institutions within a country, state, or community are accountable to the same laws, including lawmakers and leaders. It is sometimes stated simply as no one is above the law.